Good morning.
Oh, hello Z. Good morning.
And welcome to our show for Trading Day, 17th of April, 2020. It was Friday, so right before the weekend. And we said that we were going to do some things. Let's see if we stuck to it. I'll go first today because you went first yesterday.
Please, you
Uh,
sound excited. I'm excited to hear what you have to say.
I'm not particularly excited, but I'm not disappointed in how
Have you
things went.
seen this? Have you looked at your standing yet? Like your
Oh,
portfolio
no.
value?
No, I haven't looked at what I was at the end of the day. But
Okay.
I'm looking right now, and I am at $806.80.
Okay.
So technically, I'm a little bit down from the day before, but I feel like this value that was ascribed to my account at the end of trading day in the after hours market was a little bit skewed because as soon as I logged into the beginning of trading day, I was in the 700s again. And what I mean is at the end of the day for me yesterday when I went to when I stopped looking at the market, I was at
When did you
500
stop?
and something.
Oh, wow. Like Singapore time. What time did you close the app and stop looking?
So Singapore time, I closed the app around, I don't know, maybe 11 p.m.
Okay.
and I was in the 500s. And
Oh,
then when I
wow.
opened it in the morning, I was 841, I think was the value yesterday, if I'm not wrong. And what was really strange is I looked at the timeline of when that value jumped up, and the end of market, 4:30 p.m. Eastern, I was still like 500 something. And
Mhm.
after hours, I was still 500 something. And then very, very, very end, somehow it jumped up into 840, like 841. And
So this
I
is as of what time? At 11 p.m. yesterday?
know that
It jumped up.
this is like at 11 p.m. Eastern time when
So
we
this
were
morning
looking.
at 11.
Yeah, so when we were looking at, so 10 a.m. Eastern time, when we opened our app and looked at things, 10 p.m. Eastern time, 10 a.m. our time, when we looked at the app, my value said I was 841, something like that. And this is all based upon the change in value for these Starbucks calls that I had. So it has to be factoring in like after hours trading. Even though it was stable the entire day, no changes while it was midnight or middle of the night Eastern time. But I was just stuck at that 840 level. And I couldn't really attribute it to, I don't know how Robinhood calculates that balance. But when trading day opened, so at our 9:30 p.m., New York's 9:30 a.m., my value dropped into the 700s basically immediately.
Okay.
Um, and then I ended up selling these two calls of Starbucks.
Expiring yesterday.
Yeah, they were both expired yesterday, and I was able to sell both of them for $1.60 a piece. And so that was a nice gain. Let me look at how much I gained from that.
Out of curiosity, would you have been able to sell it for a higher value than if you had exercised it?
So that's a good question. I haven't done the math, but I don't have enough money in my account to actually exercise it. So this may be possible. If I remember right, Starbucks was about $76.50. My calls were at $75.50. So a dollar spread between the two. That means $100 profit if I exercised them. But then I have to minus
But
the
then
cost that I
you're
paid for
owning it.
them.
Yeah.
So actually, I was able to make money. So I exercised them for $1.60 a piece. And so I got my initial value back. Let me take a quick look at what I bought them for. All right, I bought three of them for 67 cents a piece. I sold one for 90 cents. And yesterday I sold two for $1.60.
Amazing. What amazing gains.
Yes. So that was the nice part. Everything else that I had expired yesterday for $0. I had
That
a
finds
SPY 299 call, Carnival Cruise Line 16 strike price call, Uber $20 call put, Starbucks $60 put, Uber $29 call, Fez $25 put, Uber $19 put, Starbucks 55 put. All of them expired for $0 of.
So a nice cleaning of your account.
Yes, so my account cleaned up rather nicely, and I don't have anything else that I did. So I did nothing else.
Okay, great.
I ended up just taking that cash and keeping it in my account. So now I have $336 of cash.
And what's the remaining 500 in?
The remaining 500 is a good portion of it is in this spread that I did recently, which is I bought the SPY call and I bought the SPY put for about the same value. And that SPY call is up 104%.
Wow.
From when I bought it.
What is the strike price on that?
Strike price is 310.
Oh wow.
For 515.
Okay.
And then I bought the put for also 515. For May 15th expiry. But the put, of course, has decreased in value. But the thing is, I paid the same for both of these. So the put still has some value in it. So if I sold right now the call side and the put side, I would make a little bit of money.
Thanks. Okay.
Which is really interesting. What's now interesting is if I believe that SPY is going to go up in value or continue to go up, I will make basically unlimited returns, right? It depends on how much up the stock price goes. If it drops back into this range, I potentially lose everything. So that's the game here is that it cannot stay in the like 260, 270 range for me. It needs to go up into the 280s, 290s or down below the 260s in order for me to get into any sort of profit at all.
So if it hovers in this range, then the cost of the call and cost of the put cancel out, right?
Yeah, I mean, the theta decay just slowly erodes the value of them all until they're zero, which is why I'm only holding these for 10 days at the maximum. That was my kind of theory, because I can limit my losses by just selling after 10 days, and I'll have 10 days of theta decay, but that's my entire cost. Whereas if it moves up strongly or down strongly, then I have a lot of gains that I can potentially cash in on.
I see.
So,
well, congratulations on, I think, one of the first few sort of like successful exits that we've had, right? Selling the calls.
Yeah, it's like that much success and about like that much loss, you know. But it's a learning exercise as well. So this is really interesting.
Shall I go with me now?
Yes, please. I'd love to hear.
I'm pretty sure I have to be down a little bit for sure. And by a little bit, I hope it's a little bit, not a lot. Okay. I'm at 4.571.
Wow. You went up again.
Didn't that increase from the previous day, right?
Yes. You were 4,100 or so yesterday.
Yeah, but then like my day P&L shows the negative. I'm so confused by this in charge of the burgers app, but I'm just gonna quote that one figure, the net NLV.
Yeah.
So just look at that. Okay. I don't know why. I don't know what the numbers mean.
Just look at the NLV of this specific time, take the screenshot, and we'll just use that value, whatever it is. Okay,
so I did make one move yesterday.
Oh, exciting.
I bought a call on Space.
Really?
Yep. Very, very speculative one. I'm down on it though, with a strike price of 21. 2 weeks away. May 1st.
Okay.
Yeah. That's all I did. I wanted to start getting into the more like, I think that I'm just gonna try to play with certain stocks that I'm a bit more familiar with, and I know Space is very volatile. Unfortunately, I bought the call at a high in the morning when it was up like 10%, and then it crashed. So it went from 1.6. I bought it at 1.63, and now it's 1.34. But the basic thinking behind it is that it's only 2 weeks out. I was looking at that Amazon that play that lady did with the Amazon calls. The question that I was thinking to myself is like, do I believe that Space can jump 21, the stock price for space right now ended at 18.74. And so my strike price being 21, I'm just doing the math right now. I obviously went down. It wasn't so bad earlier, but so I'm 12% out of the money. And when I was doing that, looking at like that girl who bought all those Amazon calls, trying to understand like how she did it, when she bought those calls, her strike price was only 6% higher than the share price itself. So she actually didn't bet on huge jumps. And usually, I mean, I guess Amazon is one of those companies that it's not so volatile, right? It probably doesn't move by that much very often. But space, on the other hand, moves almost every day. I see it moving by between 7 to 10%. So my thinking is that like, okay, do I believe that in the next like 3 to 4 days, space can jump another 10%? Absolutely. I believe that. So therefore I was like, okay, you know what? I'm just going to buy this 2 weeks out. I also don't have a lot of money to play with, but I wanted a strike price that was like relatively low. So 21. And that's my goal basically. Like hopefully if we have a strong like Monday opening or Tuesday opening, I mean, obviously I'm screwed if it doesn't happen, but I just wanted to take this, try it out. And the hope is that I'll be able to sell the call this week's time. For once, I'd like to have a little bit of bullishness in me to play with and not cry every time the market goes up. So we'll see what I did. I have several options that are going to expire worthless as well. I have 2 that are going to expire worthless on Monday. The original space put that I bought 11 expired worthless yesterday. So that's how it is, man. Still bulk of my money in Zoom, but let's see how that goes. I think that I really moving forward. Actually, the only way that I'll be able to do anything is if space performs well. Otherwise, I'd have to sell one of my Zoom calls.
Right.
We'll cross that bridge if we have to.
And that's because you don't have much cash right now. This is just a couple $100 to play with, right?
Right. I have $104 cash, but unfortunately, it's locked up because of the that spread that I did.
Right. So if you are called on fulfilling that, then you have to spend $104 to match. What is your maximum loss on that spread, by the way? Did you do the calculation?
Yeah, I don't recall exactly, but it's under $100 because I bought the put at 13 and I sold the put at 14. So between 14 and 13, I'll lose, but it's $100 minus whatever I received. So I think max loss could be about $70, $80.
Got it.
But it gave me a bit of cash, I guess, to spend this.
Right.
Anyway, learning.
So you could use it and do something with it, but you run the risk of both losing that cash and then having to fulfill your obligations if the put goes badly for you.
Right. So that's why interactive brokers will not allow me to spend that cash. They need to know that I have at least $100 in my account.
Got it.
Because if I don't, I cannot pay.
Understood.
I lose.
Understood.
Yeah.
So we talked a little bit about this company, GILD, which was a company that manufactures a drug that they released some news that it might have some positive impact on coronavirus cases. Why didn't you move into that?
2 reasons. Number one, I started reading a lot of articles about how it's rubbish. Not rubbish, but it's the person who wrote that article, there was some doubt about his intentions. And how it's actually a very small trial of 100 patients. So, it's really, you cannot really draw any strong conclusions from it.
Got it.
Number 2, Gilead, I don't see, at least for me, it's not a stock that I've never looked at it before. And I just didn't feel confident buying anything with it. I think my general thinking right now is just overall, so am I going to go up? If it's going to go up, space is going to go up. If it goes down, Zoom is going to go up. So I'm more comfortable playing with these 2 right now. So that was my reason for not going into it. What about you? Did you think about going into it?
I did. I took a quick look at it, and I also saw that article just on Wall Street Bets, a whole bunch of people just talking about the negative press around it, or kind of the shadiness around some of the calls that were put in. And so I decided not to do anything with it, but I almost bought puts, because my thinking there was, at some point that's going to get into the popular consciousness, not just Wall Street bets, and the stock price is going to go down by 5 or 10%. But I didn't have enough confidence that people would do their research. You know, they'll get onto the hype train, they'll stay on that, and then they'll just lose their money at some point. But I don't know when that's going to happen. Like, what I don't have a lot of confidence is will that happen in the next 3 days, or will it happen in 2 weeks? And I couldn't afford the puts for 2 weeks out. I could only afford the puts for next week, because that's all the cash I had in my bank. And so I just said, there's no way I can get in on it with any assurance that I'm going to make the money. So I didn't move into it at all.
I think that right now it's exciting. You have some cash to spend next week, and I have all my excess cash pinned on Space Rising. So I think Monday or our Tuesday will be a really interesting chat.
I think so too.
And what do you think the overall market sentiment over the weekend? Do you have any thoughts on whether we're going to open green on Monday?
I do. I think the overall sentiment is actually pretty good. And the reason is this has now become the new normal for everybody. Everybody's impacted. Everybody is scrambling to find, new ways in order to survive in this economy. And while no one is unaffected, it's now becoming the new normal, and there just isn't a lot that's going to move the needle into the negative from where we are. At least that's my feeling.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, you said this yesterday too.
Yeah.
Like, what could the market go down? You have something unexpected, right? And and right now the big news is, first was coronavirus. Second part was like closing down cities and states. This next chapter is all about reopening. And so any news about like a date for reopening, that's going to get people optimistic and stuff, right? And then after the reopening, we want to think about like reinfection. So, right? So maybe that's how we want to think, like a couple steps ahead.
And really interesting you said that, because the reason my StarBUX calls did so well is exactly that news. StarBUX released a press statement saying, we're going to start reopening some stores. And stock price jumped by 10%. And that's why my calls became valuable in that one aftermarket trading moment, is because that positive sentiment around the company fueled an entire buying frenzy for the StarBUX stock.
Amazing, yeah.
So I think you're right. I think we'll see that from several other industries as well. Think about like the cruise line industry. Them announcing the first cruise after everything is kind of said and done, their stock is going to go up 10-20%. Something to watch for.
Yeah, let's get through next week.
Yeah, let's get through next week and see where we're at.
The last thing I'll say is I really thought that Amazon, the strategy that person did with Amazon was really fascinating. She only made 3 moves: bought, sold, and the last 2 moves she bought and sold within a day.
Yeah.
But that she couldn't have timed it better. Amazon's a big team. It doesn't move that much, but it really moved when she bought the call, and that's just luck. I think it's very hard to replicate that. But the overall strategy is very interesting. Why buy a month out? I mean, like, why buy 2-3 months out when you just buy 30 days out? And I noticed that like she never held it more than like 5 days, or maybe maximum 5 to 6 days. So that's a new strategy of mine that I want to try. Which is what you've been doing too.
Yeah. I've been looking at the shorter term and then trying to buy where that is going to go. Where I think I made a big mistake for myself was spreading myself a little bit too thin. like I bought so many puts and calls all over the place, and they all ended up out of the money and expiring worthless. And whereas this girl that is buying these Amazon calls is really hyper focused on just one company or just a couple positions, and not trying to overbuy or get swept up in kind of the hype or excitement, but making like one move, sticking to it, following that move really closely, exiting when the timing is right. I really have a lot of admiration for that. So I would like to replicate that as well.
I loved how she always kept a bit of cash too. Like she sold for X, but then like she reinvested less than X each time. So she was taking profit out each time.
Yeah.
Preserving. Yeah.
A lot to look forward to on Monday.
I think so. Yeah.
All right, guys, that is our show. Thank you so much for watching, and please don't forget to like, subscribe to our channel if you like what we're doing, and comment below when you see the moves that we're making, or maybe to give some recommendations about what we should do. Thanks for watching this week, and we'll see you on Monday.
Bye.
Bye.